Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, October 8th. Welcome to another episode of Together San Diego. I'm your host, Luis Cruz, Community Relations Director for the San Diego Union-Tribune. And joining me this afternoon is Dr. Gary Weitzman, President and CEO of the San Diego Humane Society. Dr. Weitzman, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Oh, sure. Great to be here. Thanks for having me, Luis.
Oh, it's my pleasure. All right, so today you're going to be giving us some practical tips on how we should take care of our pets. Before we do that, can you tell us a little bit about the San Diego Humane Society and mission?
Yeah, sure. San Diego Humane has been serving this community for 140, almost 141 years. We're actually the oldest nonprofit in San Diego County. And we've now got 5 campuses and take care of about 50,000 animals a year. So we stay pretty busy. It's a really different world right now, but still a very important part of everyone's lives is to be with their animals. And we want to make sure those animals are safe and sound in their homes. And of course, as you and I were talking before the show started, we are very happy to add animals to anybody's homes that don't already have them. So it's all about animals, but actually it's about people too. So really our mission is to take care of people so that they can take care of their animals. So we very much take that to heart.
Yeah, and you're a little bit of breaking news. You're going to be receiving some more pets this afternoon.
Yeah, we're getting we're getting exactly 90 dogs in from southeastern Louisiana because I guess it's Hurricane Delta is heading for that coast of Louisiana again. I think this is their 6th emergency declaration this hurricane season. So we had a flight 2 weeks ago from the same area, and we brought in 105 dogs and cats on that flight, and we partner with Wings of Rescue, which is a really incredible philanthropic. They're heroes. They're just simply heroes, and they have their own planes. They charter other ones, and they can fly animals distances that we can't get to them in a truck or get them back here safely. So it's a huge help. So yeah, we'll get 90 dogs in this afternoon, and we're partnering with a couple other shelters. We're part of a big coalition in San Diego, the San Diego Animal Welfare Coalition. So we'll take about 60 of the dogs, and Rancho Coastal Humane Society is going to take some. Department of Animal Services and Chula Vista as well are going to take some animals too. But they're all coming in, and hopefully we'll get them all into nice, safe and sound, happy homes here in San Diego.
Now, I know you have several different campuses. Are they going to a specific campus, or how does that work?
Oh yeah, we share the wealth. So with 60 dogs coming today and we had another 60, we had another 50 2 weeks ago. We're going to distribute them. So we'll have about a dozen in Oceanside, a dozen in Escondido, maybe another dozen in El Cajon, and the remainder, which will be, if I did my math right, about 20 or so, will come to the main San Diego campus. So, but it doesn't really matter. Everything's so virtual now. You just have to go if you're looking for an animal, and they'll be ready probably. We got to do the medical evaluations, behavior evaluations, but as soon as they're ready, they'll go on our website, and we'll get them ready for the public at any campus. So the real trick is to go online and to check out animals and let us know which one you're interested in coming in to meet.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. How has COVID-19 affected the work that you do, and have you seen an increase in pet adoptions?
Yeah, we really have. Not just us, but across the country, there's been a massive increase in pet adoptions and the desire for pets and all the corollaries, better animal care, better veterinary, more veterinary visits. So there seems to be a correlation that people are really, really appreciating the love that they can get from animals and give. We need that now more than anything. Animals are safe. So you can hug your dog, you can hug your cat if she lets you, but it's really important. I know you have a cat. It's really important now. And the nice thing is we are seeing so few relinquishments here in San Diego. Normally we would get about 20,000 a year, maybe between strays and relinquishments. We're getting a fraction of that now. So the animals that we do have, at one point over the summer, it was a 2-week wait just to adopt because we had so many animals went so fast. Now it's kind of equilibrating a little bit, but I think here's the positives from COVID. We're doing things so different. We're doing appointments for adoption. Things are virtual, mostly online in our parking lot so that people can stay safe. And we're getting animals into their homes, but even more importantly, we're providing services so that people can keep them. And that's the most important thing that we can do.
Yeah, and also taking the different safety precautions. There we see some of the your folks.
Yeah.
There.
Makes it harder to kiss the kittens on the head if you have a mask on, but it's really, really important.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But speaking
there
of
you go. Okay, that's a great
kittens,
picture. Yep.
no, these are great pictures of the workers there taking care of the pets. Um, I think this worker is trying to get this cat's attention. I believe. I'm not sure.
Oh, he looks like he's got a wand. That's Chris. He's one of our behavior center, really talented trainers, and that's where we have cats that aren't quite ready for prime time. They're not ready to get into homes necessarily. So right there, Chris is actually doing enrichment and behavior modification with that cat. At least I assume that he is. But he's a great guy, and he's really talented with both dogs and cats. So, but the behavior center is one of only 3 or 4 in the country. And that center is for about 100 animals. We can hold 100, 75 to 100 a day, and really get them ready if they're nervous with people, if they're nervous with other animals, if they're not as social as we might be able to get them to be. They can go to the behavior center, and we can do behavior mod and really get them comfortable to go into homes. So it's really it's a very important part of our mission to stay at zero euthanasia of shelter animals, of healthy and treatable shelter animals, by having them in programs that can help them be successful in homes. So that's it's nice.
You're also an author, so I want to talk about that. You have this past August, you debuted 2 books for families seeking the best training tips: Fetch, a how to speak dog training guide, and then there's Pounce. Let's see. What there's Fetch, and then there's Pounce, how to speak cat training guide. Tell us about the 2 books, and I understand a portion of the proceeds goes to the Humane Society.
Right, right. Oh boy, I've lost count. I think these are my 8th and 9th books with National Geographic. So they refer to how to speak dog and how to speak cat. Those were among the first back in 2012 and 13. And those are really just the things that you really need to know to actually get an animal, get a dog or get a cat, and what to expect. And these books are actually, they're kind of the workbooks. They're the labs, or how to train dogs and how to train cats. And you asked me earlier if cats can be trained, and they really can. So this book has a lot of information about how to train cats, and they're wonderful. They're smart animals, and clicker training is fantastic for them. But anybody can train a cat or a dog, and these are for kids. But they're to do this training with your children. And frankly, I mean, these are for adults too, so you can have your children be there with you while you're training your cat or your dog. And in these days when everybody's looking for content at home, these are fun. These are fun.
No,
and I hope
they look great. They look awesome. All right, let's get to some tips. We have a list of questions, so let's go down the list, and you tell us what you suggest. And actually, if people are watching at home or wherever you're watching on your phones, your iPads, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the comment section, and we'll try to address them. All right, our first question: how do I decode my dog's behavior so I know when it's a good time or bad time to train them?
Oh, excellent question. Because just like us, there are good times and bad times to learn and to do training or teaching. But for dogs and cats, first of all, there's always a better time. So if your dog is energetic in the morning, as most dogs are, that's a great time to do training. For cats, it may not be the best time to do training because they are at heart nocturnal, and doing it a little bit later in the day is really important. And I kind of joked with you earlier that to train a cat, you really have to get permission to be trained. So you have to start with that. So it's really critical that you do it at the time when your animals are receptive, when they might be a little hungry, so they're motivated by food. And basically, so sorry, there's a little bit of reverb on this, but and you have to do it when they can, for the amount of time that you can pay attention. So for puppies and kittens, it's probably about 9 minutes max. For adult dogs and cats, maybe 12 to 15, but then you got to give them a break. So if you're going to do training, maybe twice a day is a good thing to do. Once a day may be all you can get in there, but definitely don't overdo it. Their attention spans are quite as long as ours, although I'm not sure ours are so long anymore either.
All right. How do I keep my dog calm?
Calm is a really interesting goal. Depends on the breed, of course. Keeping your dog calm is really dependent on making sure that your dog is enriched behaviorally and, in many cases, tired. So if that means leaving, we don't so much do this anymore, but if that means leaving for the day and your dog is alone all day, that dog is really going to need some attention when you get home. For the most part, it's making sure that your dog is well exercised, has daily behavioral and mind enrichment, like treat dispensing toys or peanut butter stuffed tongs. All of those things are really critical for your dog's well-being, and even more so, I'd say in many cases, than even physical care, taking care of that dog's mind. Really, really important. Do you know, in Germany, they just passed a remarkable law that dogs must be walked unless there's a written reason. Dogs must be walked twice a day. Isn't that incredible?
And that's just and why is that?
Well, it's really just generally figuring that certainly they need it. They need it. They're not just plug and play animals. They need that enrichment. They need that attachment to people. They need to get out of the house. So similarly, cats that we don't want so much outside, we don't have cat beach here yet in San Diego. Those animals need that enrichment inside. And that's with climbing trees and toys, and again, treat dispensing toys. All sorts of things that will stimulate them, feather dusters that you can play with, and even the laser pointers, as long as you don't shine it into anybody's eye, and you always let your cat win at the end. That means when they grab the red dot, you put a treat down. Otherwise, it's tons of frustration.
Okay. All right. Back to dogs here. Why is there no such thing as a bad dog? And along those lines, should I punish my dog for bad behavior?
Oh, yeah. No, there's no such thing as a bad dog. There are, I think, in most cases, when dogs behave in a way that we don't appreciate, getting into the trash, ripping up pillows, going to the bathroom in the house, I think 90% of the time, the fault is our own for not training as well as we probably should, or not being patient with that dog. So no, there's no such thing as a bad dog. I'm glad you asked about the punishment part, because there is never, ever any reason to punish an animal. Never a reason to punish. You can withhold a treat. That's a bit of negative reinforcement right there, but there's no reason to ever do punishment. So we advocate strongly at San Diego Humane that people use only positive reinforcement trainers, because you can get everything you want a dog or a cat to do, or a chicken or a pig. We have pigs up in Escondido at the Escondido campus who were training to sit. And pigs are smart, so it's not such a stretch. But you don't normally see pigs that are trained. But there's no reason to ever punish. So get rid of that idea. Withhold a treat until your dog succeeds, and we talk about that in the book. But never punish. Never punish, and never use a shock collar. And bravo to Petco for getting rid of shock collars in all of their stores nationwide. That's astounding. Never do shock collars, never do punishment.
All right. So what should I do about leash pulling and jumping on gas and accidents in the house?
Okay. Oh, let's see. That's a lot to cover in a minute. Accidents in the house, you have to reinforce litter box training for cats, of course. Usually if there's an issue with cats, it's because they're stressed when they don't use the litter box. For dogs, it's just really doing potty training. And sometimes you have to go back to square one, even if you have an older dog. If you adopt a senior, there may be health reasons that they're not able to hold it until they get out. But in general, that's about training. And then the other issue, basically jumping, things that we don't want. Like you invite people over in the days when we used to be able to do that, and your dog jumps on somebody when she walks in the door. That can be trained out of your dog. And basically the idea is to redirect that behavior so that your dog is actually, you get them to sit rather than jumping on someone. Or when doorbell rings, you get them to sit rather than barking. Here's an interesting thing. Don't ever bark back when your dog barks because something's outside. If you yell at your dog's just going to think you're joining the fray. So that backfires every single time. Just thank your dog for letting you know about the UPS man, and then have your dog sit down on his bed. And that's probably the best way to do it. there's a lot of these in both of the books, but it's certainly not completely comprehensive. We have a behavior hotline at San Diego Humane as well. So if people are having trouble with their animals, we are happy to help because honestly, our number one mission is to keep animals safely in their homes with their families and out of the shelter. So this is all part of it. So anybody can call us and we will certainly help with behavior issues.
That's good to know. All right, we were talking. Let's get some cat questions. We were talking beforehand, my roommate has a cat. I'm very jealous of her cat. This is Margot. All Margot does all day is sleep. Here she is in the living room. Here she is just hanging out. Here she is on my bed. But cutest little thing. You were saying you can actually train a cat. I can't get Margot to come over when I call her.
Yeah. You can train a cat, but that doesn't mean the cat is always going to want to do what you ask because she's a cat. Hey, by the way, bravo for having a collar and a tag on your girl. I assume she's an indoor cat.
Yeah.
You can definitely train her. And actually, I hope we send you some books because take one of those. You can train your cat to come when you call. You can train your cat to ring a bell. You can train your cat to do 100 different things. You have to entice your cat to do it. That's the real key. So high value treats are your safe deposit points in training. They're your gold medal. So something that you don't normally give your cat otherwise, this is when you give it. So I bet you can do it. And honestly, I'd love to talk to you in about 3 months. You can give you some tips and see if you get Margot a little bit more cooperative about coming to you when you call. I know you can do it.
Let's see. Here's another question. How do I get my cat into their cat carrier?
Oh, that's a really good one, and it's an important one. So, during the fires the last couple of weeks, the Valley Fire out in East County, this wasn't about cats, but it's about horses. You always want to make sure that you're able to keep your animal safe. And what we see every time there's a fire, and we take care of a lot of animals during the fires, a lot of horses were at the Lakeside Rodeo. And really difficult to get the horses into the trailers. You got to make sure your horses are trained to go into a trailer before a fire happens. Similarly, you want to make sure you have your cat trained to go into a carrier before a fire happens and before you might have to leave, before you want to go to the vet, if you want to take your cat somewhere for their own safety. So what I recommend is to leave your carrier out in the living room somewhere nice and neutral. Put treats in there, maybe catnip. Just leave it there open for a month. Just let your cat get used to the stranger in the room. And then start to teach your cat to go in there. And that's when you put the treats in, you leave the door open, you let them come and get what they want. And then you upgrade. Close the door in a couple of weeks, pick up the carrier. Don't let it bounce back and forth. Just pick up the carrier by the bottom so there's no, there's no gondola ride happening when you're doing it, and then go to the car. And those are ways you get your cat used to using the carrier. If you just bring it down from the attic or up from the basement, plop it down and try to push your cat into it with no training, good luck with that. That's when you'll have to stop over at one of the local medical clinics on the way to the vet to get your wounds treated. So really, we recommend familiarity. Familiarity helps with cats.
Okay. A couple more questions here. What does it mean when my cat's tail swishes a lot?
Oh, that's translated in the book, In and How to Speak Cat. Different than dogs, cat tails really do tell a whole story. Dogs do too. But a wagging tail, for the most part in dogs, means that dog is comfortable and happy with you. Not always. But in cats, a very relaxed swish back and forth can be a good thing. But it also more often means that your cat is kicking you out. So they're not necessarily ready for you yet. A cat being ready for you means you'll get a head. So it's really the head, not the tail, to give you that clue to go forward.
So you cut out there for a second. What was that tail end of the tail story?
The tail, really for cats, it's really about the head. Check out the head. That means your cat is happy to see you or ready for you to actually interact with him. If you get a head bump, you know for sure that cat is ready for you to pet him on the head. The tail can mean the cat's relaxed if it's just swishing back and forth very slowly. But a straight tail, that's the Halloween tail. You never want to see that and go and approach your cat. Also, by the way, for the most part, don't rub your cat on the belly. You're going to regret that for a long time.
Really? Why is that?
They don't like it. Dogs live for it, but cats can't stand that for the most part. I know of a few exceptions. Kittens, it's fine, but a cat, you just put your hand into a steel jaw trap. So all those legs are going to come down right over you, and you're going to regret rubbing your cat's belly. Now, your cat may let you do it, but believe me, you have a very rare cat if your cat will let you rub her belly.
Okay, good to know. All right, how do I solve my cat's chewing, urinating outside the kitty litter box, or going crazy at night?
Uh, hmm. Okay, that's a compound question. Those are three different questions. Going crazy at night is really not crazy. That's normal for a cat. They tend to acclimate to our schedules, which are diurnal. Cats are really nocturnal. So they're very active at night. They can see better at night. They're up and going. And from the pictures you showed about your cat, they're always sleeping during the day. So that's normal. We don't appreciate it when they wake us up at 4 in the morning. So there's things you can do about that. And really, it starts with ignoring your cat and not rewarding that behavior. But I've said this for about 20 years, and it's so hard for people to do. It's hard for me to do too. But the key is really just don't reward that. Try to ignore it if you can. Maybe get another cat so they can play. Keep them out of your room. That's the hardest thing in the world. But it's a tough one. Now, the first part of the question was urinating outside of the litter box. Generally speaking, 99 times out of 100, it's because of stress. Something changed. More people are living at the house, too many cats in the house, a cat outside that's bothering your cat. You may not even notice it. Something has stressed your cat, so that's causing your cat to urinate outside the litter box. It's almost always due to anxiety. And I forgot the middle question, but
Well, how do I solve my cat's chewing? Was actually
okay. Chewing is kind of rare, but if they're doing a lot of that, substitute the chewing of something bad with the chewing of something good. So that lots of cat toys that'll do it. You can do cat grass because they love that. You can do catnip, but that's not so much chewing as it is really just the smell of that and just consuming it. But I'd say cat grass. If you have a cat that chews a lot, and again, that's not so common, but if you do, then I would get some cat grass. Now, if you're talking about scratching, that's a whole different story, and then that really is usually remedied by having a scratching post. So many different types, horizontal ones, vertical ones, and those are really key to keeping your cat's nails healthy and also keeping your cat happy, because that's a natural behavior that they have to do to alleviate stress and to be cats.
All right. Yep. Final question for cats here. What are hunting games, and why are they important for cats?
Oh, hunting games are the only game for cats. Rest assured, there's nothing else a cat cares about except for hunting in terms of play. So everything they do as kittens, it's really to learn how to play, and they attack each other. You've seen kittens go at it. It's really, it's hysterical. It's better than anything that could be on Netflix or HBO, watching two kittens play. But it's all about the hunt. And so cats that are outside, and again, we don't recommend it because of the just what's out there, the risks of being outdoors. And here in San Diego, there's a lot, including coyotes. But those cats outdoors really are doing what cats love to do. They're stalking, they're sneaking up on things, they're hiding, they're pouncing. It's all about the hunt if you're a cat. That's the most fun you could ever have.
All right, lots of great advice. I love it. Thank you so much. The San Diego Humane Society also has a community pet pantry that provides free pet food assistance to families in need. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, we opened that up during COVID, and right now we run it 6 days a week. We're closed on Mondays, so every other day of the week we have our pet pantry open. Anybody can drive up to any of our campuses, Escondido, Oceanside, San Diego, or El Cajon, and pick up food for their dogs or cats, or both, and supplies if they need them. And also call us if you need help with your pet, training, medical assistance. We can refer you or get you a veterinary voucher so that you can bring it to your local veterinarian. Just call us. But the pet pantry is open 6 days a week during our open hours, which are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day but Monday.
How much food would you say you've distributed since the pandemic began?
Oh, gosh, Luis, that's a good question. Boy, I think I've lost track after about 300,000 pounds. I think I lost track of how much food, but a lot of food. A
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, some notes. I was when I was doing some research here. It says that you've distributed nearly 1.3 million pet meals.
Oh, yes, that's different. And
March.
those are, yeah, that's true. The pet meals were home deliveries of food that we would bring to people in need. We do that a little bit now, but primarily we're doing it as a food pantry and not as a delivery. So it's actually it's a few 100,000 pounds of food we've already distributed. We just distributed 300,000 pounds of food itself to rescue groups here in San Diego, and they need help too. So right now, with all of this, we are all working together to keep people and animals safe. So support your local rescue groups, support your local shelters.
You've also recently expanded your operations into the city of El Cajon and Ramona. Talk about that and the need there.
Yeah, right. El Cajon, we just actually started our work there this past Sunday. So whatever day that was, the 4th of October. We've been hoping to have a chance to work in East County and have a presence there for well over 10 years. And it finally happened, and it's really phenomenal. That shelter opened up about a year and a half ago, and it's a beautiful shelter on North Marshall Avenue, and we're certainly looking forward to meeting anybody that needs help or has questions about animals or wants to adopt or pick up pet food, whatever they need at that shelter in El Cajon. And then a month prior to that, we actually started working to run what was what was formerly Fun for Animals Wildlife Center in Ramona, run by the Humane Society of the United States. The Humane Society of the United States asked us if we would take over control of that facility, and they basically gifted it to us. So along with that gift came 9 really talented staff, many of whom have been there for more than 2 decades. And so that facility is part of Project Wildlife for us, and we take care of predator animals at that facility. So right now we have a mountain lion cub that was burned during the fires up north, sent down to us, and we thought we were going to lose her, but she did an incredible turnaround, and she's going to be great. To take a look on our Facebook page if you want to see the mountain lion cub. She's doing really well. The night cam video of her is really something. It's just very, very cool. Sadly, she can't go back into the wild. Mountain lion cubs need to be with their mothers for about a year. So we're her mother. So she will bond with people, so she can't be released back into the wild, but we will find a long-term residency for her somewhere in the United States, or she'll stay with us in Ramona. But we are really looking forward to when COVID ends. We all are, but to welcome the public to that facility, to show them just the treasure that we're surrounded by in wildlife here in San Diego County. So those are our 2 newest campuses, giving us a total of 5 campuses in San Diego County.
Wow, that's great. I want to thank Nina Thompson for watching. She says, so grateful to the San Diego Humane Society for all the wonderful it does for the animals and the people who love them. So you do so much, as I said, to help pets and pet owners. How can people help you so you can continue to help them?
Yeah, the biggest thing that people can do is take care of your pets. Honestly, keep an eye on them. Don't let them run stray. Take care of them. Let us know if you. That's my dog barking. If you need help with any of your animals, like I discussed, pet food, behavior help, medical help, all of that. That's the biggest thing. Secondly, we're scared. I mean, I got to say, we all are in nonprofits. We don't know what the future holds, and if you can help, either donating financially or physically with towels and supplies, that's a huge help for us too. And then volunteering. We still have our volunteers. We have about 5,000 volunteers, and our shifts are different, but we can certainly all use help with volunteers as well. So, and we love this with people of San Diego County because of how much they care about animals and have helped all of us in San Diego, all the shelters in San Diego and rescue groups ensure that no treatable or healthy animal is ever euthanized in our county. We're the largest city in the United States to have that claim to fame. I'm really proud of it, and it's because we've got such wonderful animal-loving people here.
Of course, we have your website address on the screen, sdhumane.org. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think we got it. We haven't covered everything in training, but I think that'll do it for now. Thank you.
We covered a lot, and I was going to ask you, you're a dog person or a cat person, but I heard the barking in the background.
Yeah. The dogs are more. The dog is more vocal for sure. No, I don't implicate myself. I love them all.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Gary Weitzman, President and CEO of the San Diego Humane Society. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Real pleasure, Luis. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And thank you at home for watching. Have a great day, everybody.
San Diegans accomplish great things every day. We care about our neighbors and our community. We are proud of our diversity. We are resilient. We hold our leaders accountable. We live in one of the most dynamic cities in America, the San Diego Union-Tribune, telling San Diego's story for more than 150 years.